not going to be able to send another one.
Okay.
But I will send you the updated one with the correction to Birdman's picks.
Okay, the show's on. Let's go.
Hello, and welcome to the crossover, where nothing is out of bounds and everything is fair game. We have a lot to cover with you today, but first, let's check in with the Tunnel Crew. Please give a warm welcome to Stats, Eddie P, Tom, TP, and Big Jesus.
All right, everybody. Big T is coming on. He's muted at the moment, but here we are. Welcome to the crossover, everyone. All right, so we're having a little technical difficulties here, but we want to thank everybody for coming over to the crossover here on our show today. So as you can see, we have Mr. Blind over here looking like Ray Charles. So how are you doing today, Radar?
Narrow is the way, TP, when it's time to play.
All righty. Next, we have your faithful Eagle fan. We have Birdman. Birdman, how are you doing today?
Blessed to see another day.
Wonderful. All right. So next, we have the one, the only Aggie P, representing North Carolina A&T State University as usual. Aggie P, how are you today?
I'm great, TP. Aggie Pride is still nationwide.
All right.
Aggie.
As we continue to get this going, Big T is standing here. Let me see.
TP, can you hear me?
We can hear you now. How you doing, sir?
Yeah.
All right. Got the technical difficulties sorted out.
All righty.
Praise be ye the Lord.
Amen.
All right, so TP, thank you for introducing everybody. And hey, I'm your man, Big T. That was the queen, the first lady, mama, doctor. She's in the house. And hey, you heard from all the rest of the Tunnel Crew. Welcome to At Home with the Crossover. Hey, on this edition of At Home with the Crossover, we're going to talk NFL playoffs. We're going to talk the upset of the Duke Blue Devils in Cameron at home. We're going to talk Kyrie, Irving, and Klay Thompson in their debuts, NBA debuts. And we've got a lot more that we're going to talk about. But of course, we always start off with the hot topics, the hottest stories of sports. May not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things we, the Tunnel Crew, want to talk about. And nothing is hotter right now than the national championship. You know, there was a national championship decided last night on the field, and a college football champion has been crowned. Congratulations to Georgia for bouncing back from that beatdown in the SEC championship game. They took a big L, their first L of the season, their only L of the season, when Alabama shut them down. But this time things went a little bit different as they beat Alabama last night, 33-18. And you had quarterback Stetson Bennett from Bama really kind of closed things out in the fourth quarter. He had a fumble early on in the fourth quarter, gave Alabama the lead. Looked like he was about to do what he did in the last game, where he threw a pick six and threw another interception and just didn't play well overall. But after that fumble, he went 4 for 4. You know, the rest of the game, 83 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and really played a big part in helping Georgia get that thing done. But the defense was the real reason they won, because the defense they were coming after Bryce all night long. The Heisman Trophy winner was running for his life. And also it really helped Georgia that Jamison Williams, Alabama's stud receiver, who really is like 1A, because Michi was injured in the SEC championship game. Jamison Williams is 1A. They both had 1,000 yards this year. And he got injured about the same point in this game that Michi got injured in the SEC championship game. So we do understand that played a big factor in the game, because he had got behind that secondary just like he did in the SEC championship game. But it was the first time in 41 years Georgia's won a national championship. go ahead and hand it off to the Tunnel Crow. What did you guys think? You ladies and gentlemen think about what went down last night?
Well, Big T, I really enjoyed the game. It showed a great example of what good defense is about on both sides of the ball. I'm gonna give Alabama their props too, in the beginning, and the reason I do, because it was only field goals scored in the first, half of the game. And that shows that you got a good defense on both sides of the ball. Both teams played great, but like you stated though, when Williams got hurt, I knew that was it. I knew that Georgia was going to win that game, because as a defensive coordinator at this point, you don't need to run double coverage over the top to look out for Williams. You can go man to man, and if Georgia go man to man with the type defense that they have, and we've known this all year, I don't care who they playing. They might take out the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, I really, it was a good game. Of course, I picked Alabama, because I thought Alabama was going to beat them. But they showed up, and hats off to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, Alabama was 50-0 under Nick Saban when they led after the first quarter. Think about that. 50-0 when they led after the first quarter. And they led after the first quarter last night, so that streak is over. And of course, he was, I think, 25-1 against his former assistants. His first loss came earlier this season when Jimbo Fisher beat him. So now he's 25-2 because Kirby Smart is one of his former assistants. So, hey, Tunnel Crew, go ahead and have at it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but I just wanted to throw those numbers at you. Who else wants to talk about the national championship last night?
Thought it was good, but me personally, I'm like an offensive guru. So I didn't really too much care for the battle of the field goals in the first half. I actually didn't even see when the Alabama player got hurt. I actually went to sleep around the third quarter, because I knew Georgia was going to turn it around somehow. I'm like, in the back of my mind, even though I picked Alabama, I'm like, I should have picked Georgia, because I knew they got something up their sleeves for the Roll Tide.
Hey, Big T. Come on now. Let's keep in mind, this guy thought Wake Forest football was real football. You know what I mean? It's not real football. And now he full of hot air because they beat up on the Rutgers when they were supposed to play Texas A&M, a real team. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just glad that Georgia redeemed themselves, and the coach redeemed himself to show himself to be up there with his mentor.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you're not hearing a lot of people, diminish the check, because it didn't seem like I heard a lot of talk about, who Alabama didn't have. And I think that was mainly because Alabama demonstrated and showed that they were still capable of winning that game, even without, all the players that they lost. I think because they played well enough to still win the game without the other guys, I think people are pushing the brakes on, well, what if? Because I didn't hear a lot of that today.
Right.
I just got to say that I'm not believing anything Birdman is saying. We know how Birdman is and the pick that he made, and we know how he loves to have an opinion about what he picked. So therefore, he knows good and well what he chose, and he's gonna stick to that. He always has an opinion on it. So Birdman, I know you saying, hey, I should have picked Georgia, but no, you picked that team that the rest of us picked. So stick with it. No, I'm not believing that.
And he said he fell asleep. Who falls asleep during the national championship game?
On the natty.
And those guys were hitting Aggie P. They was laying the wood on each other. Yes. That was an entertaining game. It was entertaining to me.
Yeah.
There was some hits in the game. Aggie P, I'm gonna throw this out there. I think the turning point in the game really, to me, looked like that first drive of the second half when Georgia started to run the football a little bit. They got the 19-yard run. The first one was like a 7 or 8 yard run, and then the 19-yard run, and then a little bit later on the 67-yard run. Yeah. And, by Cook. And I think that once that you started to establish a little bit of a running game. Alabama also did too. They started to establish a little bit of a running game too. But it seemed like once they did, Georgia really, because Georgia's thing is you ain't gonna run on us. And so once they did, Georgia started to kind of put the brakes on that and forced Alabama to go back to a one-dimensional team.
Right.
But I thought, Georgia started to mix the run and the pass in a little bit better in the second half.
They did. Hey, hats off to Georgia. I mean, I saw like the interviews before the game, and what the coach said, that his players took a lot of flack from the last game because they said it wasn't in shape. Yeah. And it looked like they was running in quicksand. He said those guys have like really trained hard, got the endurance up, and they were just ready for this game. And I really enjoyed that game. I enjoyed that game better than the Clemson and Alabama game.
Yeah,
I mean, it was some hard hitting, some good defense, and some offense too for Birdman.
Yeah.
Yes.
He loved the offense. I love the defense and the hit. So,
hey, I've got a quick number for you when it comes to rematches of top 5 teams. When you have a matchup of top 5 teams play in the regular season, and then they have a rematch in the national championship, the team that lost in the regular season had won 4 straight coming into last night. It's 5 straight now. So there's something to be said about having the chip on your shoulder in the revenge factor. Now,
Big T, you got to start sharing it before we do our picks. For the Bingo T, you be holding out on some information from your underground.
Yeah, you do. And B, he's always the last one to put his picks in.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is, sir.
No, I'm not.
He's getting off the telephone from Vegas. I gotta go.
Does,
and his picks in. I gotta go.
Right. Hold on.
That is not a true statement, Radar. Hey, I'm the first. I'm the last one.
It is.
Listen, I'm the last one to send it, but I send it to me first before I send them out to everybody.
Well,
there you go, bro.
That's true. Now, Stats is the last one to send it at all times.
Right, that is true. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on real quick because we got some other things to talk about, and of course, National Football League wrapped up its biggest season ever, as they've been calling it, 18 weeks, and they keep saying it's the first time, but it's not, because they used to do 2 buys. And they had 18 weeks. So you didn't play 17 games.
Right.
But they had 18 weeks back in the past. So this year they had 18 weeks. Everybody played 17 games. And there was a lot of stuff that went down in this final week. Of course, the Titans clinched the top seed with the win over the Houston Texans. Ryan Tannehill threw 4 touchdowns. He continues to impress. I thought once big Derrick Henry went down, then Tannehill was gonna tank, but he hasn't. He's continued to show that he can get it done. The Bills clinched the AFC East with a win over the feisty Jets. The Rams blew a 17-point lead and lost to the San Francisco 49ers, who squeaked in because of that win. And we got so much more to talk about regarding the NFL Week 18 NFL playoffs, and we'll do that on the other side of the break. You're listening to At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the Crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. And hey, I know you love to hear what TP has to say. I know you like seeing Radar Charles with his sunglasses on and the grinning and having meetings during the commercial breaks. I know you love to hear Bird talk about his Eagles and his Wake Forest Deacons, and Aggie P shouting Aggie Pride and, you know, hey, dissing his Giants and everything.
Please don't.
You know, and of course me talking to my Dolphins, and you know, it's just having fun each and every week. Well, you can do that every Tuesday night live on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell everybody about the show. And that's 7:00 p.m. every Tuesday night live on YouTube. And then on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., you can catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. And it can be found online at WLJFradio.com. You can also listen to it by downloading the WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. So catch us every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. YouTube, Thursday night, 7 p.m., WLJFradio.com. All right, let's get back into the hot topics. And before the break, you know, we're mentioning all the things that happened in week 18 of the NFL, close out the season. Aggie P, I got to tell you something, and to all the Tunnel crew, but, you know, me and Aggie P, we got a soft spot in our heart for football, man. And we officially now have 13 games left before we go into football withdrawals. 13. Well, if you count the Pro Bowl, which we really don't, but 14.
I don't watch that. I'm like Birdman on that one. I just take a nap.
Yeah, take a nap on that one.
Take a nap.
So that means we officially have 13 games left until football withdrawals. So There you go. Yep.
Pray up for me, please.
Pray for all 3 of us.
Right.
Yeah.
That include the big game.
Yeah, that includes big games. Yep, 13. Ain't that something? Yep. So, hey, start marking them off. But hey, going back to everything that happened at the end of the season, week 18, like we said, the 49ers got in because they came back 17 points down, upset the Rams. But guess what? The Rams still clinched the West Division because the Cardinals slipped up and lost to the dreadful Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson. Man, I'm like, come on, Arizona, what in the world? And then Big Ben gets to ride one last time because oh yeah, our producer said you got the USFL reboot coming up this spring. So we've tried this offshoot football thing before, and they keep letting us down, you know.
You're right.
Anyway, so Big Ben, you know, he's got one last shot at trying to get him another ring because they beat the Ravens in overtime on Sunday, and then they got some help in what was arguably, I mean, it was definitely the game of the weekend, but it was arguably the game of the year. And I see people smiling at this, so I know everybody knows what I'm talking about. Sunday night football game. The official last game of the regular season saw the Los Angeles Chargers visiting the Las Vegas Raiders, and it was winner take all. You know, except there was one way both could get in. They could tie and knock Pittsburgh out, and they both get in. This game had everything, man. It had the Raiders building a 15-point lead midway through the fourth quarter. It had the Chargers coming back and getting a touchdown and getting a 2-point conversion. And then with 2 minutes left, now this is unbelievable. With 2 minutes left to go in the game, they went on a 19-play, 83-yard touchdown drive, converting 2 fourth downs on the drive. They converted 6 fourth downs in the game. That's the most fourth downs a team has converted in 30 years, I believe, 40 years, something like that.
Mhm.
And they tied the game up with no time left on the clock, kicked the extra point, sent it into overtime. And in overtime, the Raiders, it looked like it was going to be a tie because they exchanged field goals. There was under 3 minutes left, and the Raiders basically were in a situation where the coach said, we were thinking about kneeling and letting the clock just run out and taking the tie, but the Chargers called a timeout.
Yeah.
And they did. The Raiders ran a play and picked up a first down. And at that point, they say, hey, let's go ahead and win this thing. So what do you guys think about what was arguably the game of the year?
Well, like you say, it was very interesting, Big T, you know, converting all those fourth downs. But, right there at the end, I was like, okay, I've never seen this before. Will the Raiders take the knee? I mean, both can go. But that's just not football, though. I mean, it's kind of like, you're supposed to go ahead and put your opponent away.
Yeah.
Basically. So when they took the time out, I said, okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and get the field goal, knock them out. But it was interesting because I thought they was going to just take the knee and both go too. So I was waiting. I was like, don't let the Wi-Fi, the cable, I don't want nothing to go out right now. I want to see how this thing ends, man. And I would have done the same thing if I was the coach. I'm not taking no knee. I don't care who I'm playing.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it.
Well, the Steelers were nervous.
Yes.
Because they're whether they got in the playoffs was hanging in the line right there.
Right.
So. Who else? Look at Radar.
I'm just disappointed at the fact that the Raiders wasn't able to use the John Gruden to kind of propel them into the rest of the year. I thought they was just going to use that to just Carr's going to get a new contract. Everybody's going to get Vegas all excited. And look at what they did.
Yeah. Bird, you got no thoughts on this?
I think that the wrong team got in the playoffs because
Really?
I picked the Chargers. I wanted the Chargers to win.
Yeah,
That's my opinion on the game.
He should be picking the Eagles. They shouldn't have got into the playoffs.
But we there though, ain't we? We there though.
They should be there though. I said they get to play the Bucks.
Hey, he coming after you.
And the Bucks look like what? Trash. They look like trash.
I'd rather see the Giants play the Buccaneers. They say Saquon Barkley gonna put on the show. I don't want to see Jalen Hurts get out there and act like he gonna pitch the ball all game, like he running the offense at Alabama again. You're not trying to see that, Big T.
Radar. One of the worst run defenses in the league right now is the Bucks. You do know that, right?
I never heard y'all had a running game.
End of story.
I missed that news flash, but I stand to be corrected.
The best rushing team in the league. Not in the second half.
I'm gonna get run off the field. I know that much.
Well, I tell you what, I feel that I want to congratulate the Raiders getting in because, of course, we have Brandon Parker, Aggie pride. Every team needs some Aggie pride in order to succeed. So I want to congratulate him. I know that on the Panthers side, we had Daryl Johnson, but in all fairness, we did not get him till about mid-season. So I want to go back to a full season with that Aggie pride. Aggie P, I see you.
Wait a minute, we got one more, Mac McCain.
Yes,
we for the Philadelphia Eagles. He played in the last game. Hey, Aggie pride again. That's right, Radar. Aggie pride all in the playoffs.
Aggie pride.
Yeah.
You got to have a little bit of Aggie pride in there. And if you notice, these people are sleeping on the Aggie pride and they're seeing the HBCUs coming in. So they're seeing that it's needed. And I know that has to do with the combine, but I just want to say you need that to come in, that Aggie pride.
We just activated him on the active roster. So be expecting him to play this week against the Bucks too.
Don't worry, we know when he gonna play before you do, because that's what that Aggies do.
Hey, that's why the Bears had such a bad season, because Tariq was out.
There you go.
Come
on, Radar. That
would be that would be the best birthday gift ever if all the teams that have A&T players on them would lose. I think that's how I did my picks. Anybody that had A&T players, no, get them off. Nah, there's no way they're going to win.
Get them off. Hey, check this out, y'all. The dud of the weekend, and this will pretty much put a bow on wrapping up Week 18 in the NFL, but the dud of the weekend was definitely the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, you got the rushing leader on your team, Jonathan Taylor, who went for over 100 yards in the game, but still finished with 1,800 yards rushing, 18 touchdowns, both led the league. You got him. You got a great chance of getting into the playoffs. All you got to do is beat the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars. And what do? They were 14-point favorites. They go out there and get beat by 15. They let Sunshine have a career day on him. I mean, he threw for over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, had that highlight reel, throw. I'm like, what in the world is going on with Indianapolis? And bye-bye, you're sitting at home now. So they definitely get the dud of the weekend because that was absolutely ridiculous. Let Trevor Lawrence throw for complete 71% of his passes on you in a game that you have to win to get in.
I agree, Big T. That was, but Wentz, I'm just not a Wentz fan anyway. So
yeah. But see, Aggie P, that's how I feel. But in this situation, I cannot blame Wentz. I blame the coaching. That's what I blame. I blame the coaching in that game.
I just have to stop right here. Birdman, I want you to say one good thing. One good thing. Name one good thing.
One good thing. Praise somebody.
What good thing about that game?
One good thing. Period. One good thing.
Philadelphia's in the playoffs.
That game was Carson Wentz. That was one good bright spot of that team. I mean, be real. Carson Wentz led them from a terrible start in season all the way to a position to where all you got to do is just beat the Jaguars.
Okay,
and
you went back to terrible, and I said just name one great thing. So we'll just move on. Go ahead.
They just didn't play a good game. The Jags just didn't play a good game.
Yeah, you gotta give them credit.
No, I give the Jags credit.
Bury your old quarterback like that.
Play a good game.
Hey, you gotta give them credit. Jacksonville definitely did what they had to do to win that game. And because of that, the Colts are sitting at home, and we don't feel sorry for them. You had your chance. You had your chance. You didn't do it.
Sir.
And this is the same man that had the nerve to bad talk his coach that just got him into the playoffs. I don't know, Birdman. I think you get ready to get your membership taken back from the Eagles
card snatched. Hey, listen up, y'all.
Made a believer out of me. That's all I gotta say.
So this was an amazing season, and I'm gonna real quick run down just a couple of the amazing things that happened this year.
Okay,
I realize the Cincinnati Bengals had a quarterback that threw for 4,600 yards, had 2 1,000-yard receivers, had a 1,000-yard running back who finished 3rd in the league in rushing, and won a division for the first time in forever. So that's amazing. Cincinnati's a young team. They got that rookie, Jamar Chase, who had 1,400 yards. He finished 3rd in receiving in the league. So Cincinnati, they were a bright spot this year. Trayvon Diggs from the Cowboys, 11 interceptions, led the league this year. First time, I think, since 1980, someone had that many interceptions this season. TJ Watt from Pittsburgh tied Michael Strahan's all-time sack record, 22.5 sacks on the season. Then you had the old man, TB12, Tom Brady, getting it done again. 5,316 yards passing, that led the league. 43 touchdowns, that led the league. That's the oldest player ever to lead the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. And even Gronk got in on the act. Gronk has had in his career 32 100-yard receiving games. He passed Tony Gonzalez for the most 100-yard receiving games in the history of the league for a tight end. And then you had Cooper Kupp, man. Cooper Kupp for the Rams finished with 1,947 yards, 145 receptions, 16 touchdowns. All 3 of those led the league. That's the first. He's only the 4th player in NFL history to lead the league in all 3 of those categories in the same season. this was a remarkable season, y'all. I mean, and I know some people, they had an extra game to do all this stuff, you know? You know, you're always going to have, like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, does this impress y'all? Were y'all impressed by these numbers?
We was, Big T, especially with all of the COVID and everything, and you don't know who's going to play from week to week. Yeah. And, you know, those guys still stuck it out and went out and put up those type numbers. I'm very impressed, man. Yeah.
Very big. It was huge.
I'm just sorry no Giants was in there anywhere doing anything.
Well, and you know what? If you look at it, one thing they all have in common, everybody I mentioned is in the playoffs. Hey, the Panthers went 5-12. They're not there.
I'm just glad no A&T alumni was in that list, Big T. That does my heart good.
Hey, everybody, make sure you catch this live at-home edition of the Crossover. Tuesday nights is the time, 7 p.m. YouTube is the place. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to tell all your friends about it. Like, share, and subscribe every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. live. And then on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., catch the audio version, the original Crossover Sports Show. You can listen to it online at WLJFradio.com or download the app. 100.7 WLJF app is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes store. When we come back, we're going to talk a little college football, a little NBA, and all that other stuff.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.insurvice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry, join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Be sure to check us out every Tuesday night live, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel, and then you can listen to all the shenanigans, all the banter and back and forth between all the members of the Tunnel Crew, especially Radar and Birdman. They really like to get after each other. So you can catch us every Tuesday night live on YouTube, 7 p.m. Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel is where you'll find us. And then on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., you can find the original audio version of the show. And you can catch that Thursday nights at 7 p.m. It's available online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the 100.7 WLJF app. It's available both in Google Play and in the iTunes store. All right. Before we get into our question of the day, I'm going to go to TP. Any social media comments, shout outs, or anything that the listeners have to say?
Yes, first we want to thank everyone for their supporting the crossover. We have plenty of comments on tonight. So we appreciate everybody who's watching, not only on YouTube, but also by all social media and on WLJF Radio. First, we have Miss Pfeiffer, Miss Niecy Pfeiffer. When we were talking about Wentz, she says Wentz is doing what Wentz does. And she also said you cannot put the team on Wentz's shoulders. So I know she is agreeing with Birdman of course, so I'm gonna take it that she is also an Eagle fan. We also have Ann Mitchell, who said good evening, happy new year to the crossover crew. Thanking God in advance for a great year, 2022. So we have some other people who just put us a lot of likes and a lot of hearts. So we appreciate your support. Keep bringing it on. Keep bringing it on unto YouTube. And we appreciate all of your support.
All right, there we go. Thank you, First Lady. We appreciate that. All right, like I say, real quick before we get into our question of the day, I've got a couple of quick mentions for you. So we talked about, Duke at the opening of the show. They went down on Saturday night, played Miami at home in Cameron Indoor Stadium and lost that game. It was the third time Miami's gone into Cameron and beat the Blue Devils since Jim Larranaga became the coach. And, every time they do it, it's a pretty impressive win because they show no fear. And they showed no fear on Saturday night, and they knocked off the number 2 team in the country. Here's what's crazy. The rankings came out on Monday, the new rankings, AP rankings. Duke fell from 2 to 8, but Miami is still unranked. They were unranked going into that game. You go on the road and upset the number 2 team in the country, and you're still unranked? And they're 5-0 in the league. What does it take to get these guys a ranking? So anyway, and then Carolina played Virginia, their nemesis, a team that had beaten them 7 in a row, and they absolutely destroyed them. Won by 16. Armando Bacot had, I think, 25 points and 22 rebounds, which, no Carolina player has done that in years. So that was a pretty big outing for him. And then, NC State women, congratulations to them, ranked in the top 5. They gave Carolina their first loss last week in that big matchup of red versus blue. So congratulations to the NC State women who have taken Carolina down and handed them their first loss. Couple of other quick mentions real quick. Kyrie Irving had his NBA debut last week, scored 22 points against the Pacers in a win. And Klay Thompson, I don't know if anybody saw this on, I think it was Sunday, but Klay came back his first game in 941 days. Hadn't played since the Game 6 of 2019 NBA Finals. Came back on Saturday night and scored 17 points and hit 3 3-pointers. Looked good. Hey, did y'all see that one-handed throwdown, one-handed dunk he had when he went down the lane?
I saw that. That was awesome.
He had to prove himself. Yeah.
Let's say he had to prove himself, TP.
He had to prove himself. It's been a while. Everybody said, okay, you didn't had enough time out. We want to see Splash Brothers.
Hey, and what was funny is after the game, the interview, he said, I didn't expect to slam. He said, I didn't think I was going to do that, but hey, he mean mugging and everything after he did it. So congratulations to him on his big return. Okay, let's jump on into our question of the day. And it's an open-ended, wide open, big question of the day. It's basically true or false. Okay? We've done something similar to this before. We had a lot of fun with it. So we're going to do it again tonight. True or false? And we're going to start off by saying this. True or false? Alabama would have won the national championship last night if Jamison Williams didn't get injured. He got injured, as you know, I think it was early third quarter or maybe late second quarter. Yeah, it was late second quarter, I believe. He got injured and didn't play the second half. And so, true for dare, Alabama would have won that game if he didn't get injured. I'm going to throw this out there. Birdman, lead off.
False, because late around that time, when he went down, if he went down late in the second quarter, then I take back what I said earlier. I saw it then. If it was third quarter, then I didn't see it. But when he went down, I saw that Georgia came up with some new offensive schemes that I did not expect from them to come right out and use that in the national championship. So I don't think that would have made any difference, especially how hot the defenses were playing in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree. I'm gonna say if Jalen Hurts was in the game, yes, I believe it made a difference. I voted for Alabama. So anything that has to do with Nick Saban, I don't care how down you are. Nick Saban knows how to bring you back up. He's a great motivator and influencer. And I believe, and I mean, Jalen Hurts, we've been looking at him forever. So, I mean, I feel like if he was in the game, then yes, a whole lot of things could have turned around. So, you know, that's how I feel about it. Radar, how you feel?
I would have to say false. Because, you know, Alabama, we had to hear Aggie P all for the last 4 years, how they got players that can play for other schools and start. It's ironic that he's not here to defend his team. So I would say false. Nick Saban won't dare to give you a reason for a player not being there for losing that game. He gonna say it was all on me, my adjustments, it's on me. So I would say false.
We have someone in social media who David F who said fly Eagles fly.
So, fly Eagles fly.
I appreciate that.
So you appreciate that, Bird?
I appreciate that.
Well, you're trying to get there's a lot of support out there for you Eagles. They're trying to pull y'all through this weekend against
I think it's a lot of support for Birdman. I'm not gonna say the Eagles.
I'm telling you right now, if the Eagles win the playoff game, I'm not gonna be on the show next week. I'm not gonna do that.
You're not gonna be on letting us know up front, huh?
I'm not coming on there.
Well, you know what? Based on what I saw last night, I would have to say Alabama probably would have won that game if Jameson Williams stayed. I mean, seriously, and y'all know I'm the only one on the show that picked Georgia because I thought Georgia in a rematch after getting embarrassed the cream would rise to the top and they would show how good they were. And I was shocked that Alabama hung around as long as they did, even after Jameson Williams went out. You know, they had already lost Michie back in the SEC championship game, their other 1,000-yard stud receiver. Then they lose him, and Georgia still couldn't put him away, still couldn't bury him. And so once I saw that, that's when I realized, you know what? If he stays in the game, it may be a different game, you know. And I'm a realist. I picked Georgia, but I have to say, had he stayed in the game, they probably win that game. But that's not to take anything away from Georgia. You know, what they accomplished was big, but you know, I'm going to say true. They would have won that game if he stayed in. All right, our next true or false question is this: the Bucks will win the Super Bowl this year. They will repeat as champions. Tom Brady will light up everybody plays start with Birdman's Bucks this weekend. The Bucks will win the big game this season and repeat. True or false?
False, because it is historically proven that Tom Brady does not do well in the wild card round. I mean, let's just face that. And he has to go, if he gets past us, let's just say that he does beat us Sunday for kicks and giggles. Let's just say that. The winner of that game has to go to Lambeau Field and face off against the great Aaron Rodgers. I don't see them getting past Aaron Rodgers. I don't see anybody getting past Aaron Rodgers, including us. I'm just being real.
Okay. All right.
I disagree with that. Hold up. I disagree with that because I'm gonna tell you why. They did that last year. He got past Aaron Rodgers last year. We talked about this last season.
Yep,
we did.
Yep.
And I think it was Radar that brought it up. But we talked about this last season about how Tom Brady embarrassed him. And we know you are a Tom Brady hater, but we have to get the facts.
Oh, yeah. And you know what, TP? I see why he's still in school. I see why sometimes he has to spend a little more time after class because he don't catch on to patterns. When you lose at home and you're younger than your predecessor, come on, man. You supposed to spank him last year. And now he's going to lay another goose here this year. and you ain't gonna be able to use that. He bought the big game. You're not gonna have that argument. The guy prepares more than anybody else.
Yes. Whoever trolled 43, one of our listeners here on the crossover on YouTube commented and said Brady owns Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh.
There you go.
Wow.
And Aaron was talking all that junk to Chicago. When's the last time Chicago ever did anything to say I own you? Stop.
Hey, Aggie P.
Yes, sir.
Aggie P, real quick, we're gonna jump back to the last question to get your thoughts on that. The true or false was Alabama would have won that game if Jamison Williams didn't get hurt. You agree? I mean, you think that's true or false?
I think that's true.
You think that's true? And that's coming from a guy that played football, knows the game. You know, he trusts what his eyes see, and he's saying, hey, if he doesn't get hurt, they win the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
Because I mean, his stats in the last game, he got 187 yards, 2 TDs in the last game. I mean, and the defensive coordinator had to take that into consideration and plan accordingly. So once he got hurt, hey, it was Georgia time. I mean,
okay.
Bring linebackers and bring everybody.
I don't know if you heard the next question, but I'll go ahead and say it again. The next one is the Buccaneers will repeat as Super Bowl champions this year. True or false?
Oh. Man, you can't skip because I think I'm the only one to have an answer, I guess.
You think long, you think wrong.
It's 80% chance, BT.
80%.
That's all I can
give. High probability.
Very high. I mean, that I've learned my lesson in past years and going against that Tom Brady, man. I don't know.
I don't know how he does it, you know. I don't know how he does it. Well, of course, y'all know I picked Green Bay, and I'm sticking with Green Bay. I gotta roll with it. But I'll just say this: I'm gonna say false because I'm sticking with Green Bay. But I'm gonna say, it would not shock me. Let me just say that.
That's where
I would not be surprised.
And Antonio just pulled that stunt too. Tom got something to prove again. They keep putting them in the corner, man. That's the wrong one you do that to. Antonio gonna scoop off the field, and they got the nerve to tell everybody he hurt when he got off the field. And he went to bounce for that man. Oh, Tom about to get a ring without him.
You know what?
He gonna say, Antonio, I'll mail yours to you.
I think he's going for a bigger title. You know what I think? I think Tom Brady is going for almost like the Guinness Book World of Records. I think he's trying to go for the winningest quarterback in the world. I really do. Because look at his
and the oldest.
Right, exactly. So the older he gets, the more he trains that defense to put up that wall for him, then the more he'll bring in. The more he'll be in the record books forever.
And it ain't rocket science. He leaves money on the table for everybody else. Everywhere he goes, he leaves money on the table. Everybody else grab and get as much as they can, and that's why they end up empty-handed.
Yes.
Hey, the next question, and we don't have a lot of time, so we're going to have to answer this one real quick. Brian Flores was fired yesterday. Several coaches were fired yesterday. Vikings fired their coach, the Bears. Brian Flores should have been fired. True or false?
False.
Wow. Hey, unified. Everybody said false. I agree. False. All righty. Listen up, everybody. Hope you enjoy this show every Tuesday night. YouTube live. Catch us. It's At Home with the Crossover, 7 p.m. And be sure to like, share, subscribe. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. And you catch us every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. live. Then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show at 7 p.m. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, it is time for the wrap-up.
Why so sad when the joy is here. What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up report. Let's send it back to the tunnel crew.
All right. Welcome back to At Home with the Crossover, and it is time for the pick segment and our shut up and play or shout outs. So let's go ahead and take a recap of last week and see how everybody did. It was our first week of the 2022 year. So these results from last week's show are also the overall standings because it's the first week of picks. And they look like this. I lead the way at 3-1, and the only reason is because I was the only one that took Georgia. Then we got a log jam at number 2. Aggie P, TP, Bromel, Stats, and Radar all went 2-2. And then Birdman bringing up the rear. He went 1-3. So that's how the standings are from last week and the overall standings for the first week of 2022. We'll see how things shake out moving forward. All right, the games for this week that we're picking are basically all NFL. It's the Super Wild Card weekend, and the games look like this. The Raiders at the Bengals on Saturday, 4:30. The Patriots at Bills Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Eagles at Bucks Sunday at 1 o'clock. 49ers at Cowboys Sunday at 4:30. Steelers at Chiefs Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And then for the first time ever, we've got a Monday night wild card game. And that'll be Monday night at 8 o'clock. And that's between the Cardinals and the Rams playing at LA. And I'll go ahead and read Stats and Bromel first. Bromel took the Bengals, the Bills, the Buccaneers, the 49ers, the Chiefs, and the Cardinals. Stats took the Bengals, the Patriots, Buccaneers, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Cardinals. All right, Aggie P, give us yours, sir.
Yes, sir. I took the Bengals, the Bills, Tom Brady, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Cardinals.
All right, Birdman.
All right, I took the Bengals, the Bills. I'm riding with my Eagles, 49ers, the Chiefs, and the Rams.
All right, TP.
I had the Raiders, the Bills, the Buccaneers, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Rams.
All right, and that leaves me. I took the Bengals, the Patriots, the Buccaneers, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Rams. All right, it's time for shout outs. So shut up and play candidates. And we'll go ahead and start with the queen, the first lady, the doctor. Go ahead and give us yours, please.
I want to give a shout out, of course, to all of the A&T players as they have entered in with the NFL. And of course to this level, but I particularly want to give a shout out, yes, to Lil Tariq Cohen for having his baby boy named Carter Tyrell Cohen after his brother, who as you know, passed away in May. So
That's
congratulations on your new
That's all right. Radar.
I would like to give a shout out to my supervisor, Shawanda Harrison. She's been doing a great job in the community. So I just wanted to give her a shout out for reaching out to the youth and helping out the adopted kids.
All right. Birdman.
All right, shut up and play, Eagles. Y'all got a big task. We already underdogs.
There you go. All right. Aggie P.
Man, I got to shut up and play going out to Nick Saban and Deion Sanders. Both got beat by the Bulldogs. Think about it. South Carolina State Bulldogs, the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, I'll wait to see that. What is it, Geico commercial? What
Affleck.
Oh, Affleck. I'm sorry. Affleck. What you got to say now? Shut up and play.
So they're going to do an Affleck commercial where they sitting around commiserating?
Right.
All right. My shout out goes to my Detroit Pistons. That's why I'm wearing the hat tonight, because they pulled off another upset. You remember last week they upset Radar's Bucks, worst team in the league, going around upsetting everybody. So last night they upset the Jazz, and Cade Cunningham had 29 points and 8 rebounds. That's his fourth 25-5 game this year. So congratulations to my Detroit Pistons for finally showing up. The season's already half over. Thanks a lot, guys. They just they just doing what my Dolphins do, starting late.
Right. Win 8 out of 9 games. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, seriously now, we've got a couple of minutes left here, and I want to go back to Antonio Brown right quick, because he was. Now, we know last week we discussed it because they said he was let go, but it didn't become official until Thursday. There were actually talks between him and the team. Sound like they were maybe considering not, but then he went on social media and blasted the coach and blasted Tom Brady's trainer, which a lot of people took as a sort of a shot at Tom Brady. I want to read to you something he said. He said, he couldn't play on his injured ankle. Said the Bucs knew and mischaracterized his actions as a mental health issue rather than a refusal to play due to pain. Then when he couldn't play, Arians said, "You're done," yelled at him and said, "You're done." Says he will have surgery in the offseason and looks forward to being ready to go next season. I think at the time he thought that was going to be with the Bucs because they hadn't released him. And then a few hours later they said, "Yeah, you're gone." So do y'all expect to see Antonio Brown next year on a roster?
Nope.
I do.
He gonna be working out with Deion Sanders in Jackson State.
Okay.
That's what he's gonna be doing.
Somebody, I'm telling you, man.
I promise you they won't.
Somebody will pick. I mean, I hope not. I want him to get that issue, taken care of, but somebody will pick him up.
Yeah.
And as far as him talking about his ankle wasn't hurt when he jogged off the field with no shirt on.
All right, everybody. Hey, for the Queen.
Blessings to everyone.
For Radar.
Okay.
For Birdman. For Aggie P.
No weapon.
I'm your man, Big T, signing off and saying, no matter where you are, look up and know that your creator's there. Until next time, see ya, and we might want to be.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for The Crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.